Going down the mountain to win the wedding of Bai Fumei, but unexpectedly being rejected by others and almost killed. Are you scared or not? It's okay, I'm a fairy. My wife killed me. It's impossible, who hasn't gone through some twists and turns before marrying a wife? Chapter 1. Getting married down the mountain. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Evil obstacle, don't hurry up and let go of your master. No, master, you can go with it. Look at this 100,000 mountains, this place where birds don't poop, there's not even a single person left behind. It's a pity that you're just wasting your time like this beautiful embryo. It's better to let my disciple Huohua make you lonely, and also let my disciple suffer. On top of 100,000 mountains and thousands of miles of Kunlun mountains, a young man grabbed a woman's sleeve and refused to let go, whether alive or dead. Not to mention that, the other hand, like a magic trick, suddenly turned into a vine and touched the woman's arms. This scares the woman. It took her hundreds of years of practice and dedication to achieve what she has today. We cannot let this little rabbit ruin her. Okay, Li Xiaoyao. Master is afraid of you. Just let go and master will promise you. The woman sighed helplessly and smiled hard at Li Xiaoyao. Okay, master, you can't deceive your disciples. I can't help it, disciple. But as Li Xiaoyao released her hand, the woman suddenly floated up and swept towards a nearby ancient forest. Little bastard, if you dare to think about your master, it's disrespectful. I'll come up with a way to turn you into a man and woman. I'll see if you can still show off your abilities. The woman spoke while flying under the tree canopy. Unexpectedly, when Li Xiaoyao saw the woman lying to him, he flashed and chased after him again. The speed is much faster than that of women, and in the blink of an eye, it's about to catch up. That's okay, the woman was so scared that both legs trembled. The little bunny has become a sperm. In these 18 years, she has devoted all her resources. Originally, she only wanted to cultivate a little book boy or something. This way, she can show off her good training skills by meeting her fellow senior brothers and sisters. I didn't expect this kid to be an incredible talent. In 18 years, he has achieved things that others may not even be able to do in 180 years. Even her master is willing to bow down in some aspects. For example, this treading on the snow without a trace was able to leave this kid behind half a month ago. And now, this kid can make her run 100 meters first, and then she can easily catch up. Stop, stop. The woman put her foot down and stood on the crown of a tree, waving at Li Xiaoyao. Master, don't run away. My disciples are always handsome and attractive, and you won't be at a disadvantage. Little bastard, you really want to bully your master and destroy your ancestors. The woman gritted her teeth in hatred. Never mind, I won't make it difficult for you. Aren't you going down the mountain? I'll do it for you, little brat. As she spoke, the woman fell from the tree and Li Xiaoyao stood in front of her in an instant. Li Xiaoyao, I will let you go down the mountain as my teacher, but I have a few words to advise you. You are naturally obscene, and if you want to embark on the path of immortality, you can only go to the mortal world to experience. Remember, beauty brings disaster, soul and bones are consumed. If there is too much greed, it will never be possible to step onto the path of immortality. As an immortal, one may have immortal and Taoist companions, but not countless flowers. Otherwise, it will be difficult to maintain one's moral character and one will still fall into reincarnation. Li Xiaoyao couldn't close his mouth happily and arched his hands at the woman. Master, I remember. Don't worry, I only have master in my heart. Get out of here now. Don't use your child-teasing tricks against your master. I'm a few hundred years old, will I be fooled by you? Okay. Li Xiaoyao closed his mouth and suddenly knelt down as he watched the woman turn around. For 18 years, his master was his only relative. I was about to leave, but suddenly my heart felt extremely sad. Master, disciple Li Xiaoyao is leaving for the time being. I hope you take good care of yourself. If you miss me, then Fei Yin will send me a message, and the disciple will definitely come back immediately. Bang bang. Li Xiaoyao kowtowed 3 times in the direction where his master had disappeared, gritted his teeth, stood up, and rushed towards the outside of the 100,000 mountains. Behind me, there came the sound of my master transmitting it from afar. Li Xiaoyao, as we bid farewell, master doesn't have much treasure to send you. Here are the 9 resurrection needles, I'll give them to you. With these 9 resurrection needles, you can walk freely in the mortal world. Immediately, the 9 golden lights rushed towards Li Xiaoyao like a shower of flowers, and instantly disappeared into his body. Master. At this moment, Li Xiaoyao could no longer control his tears. This 9 resurrection needles, as her master had said before, took her 90.9 and 80.1 years to refine. It was her beloved treasure, and she even gave it to him. Master, I used this method to force you to let me go down the mountain. You won't blame me, will you? Hee, master, you definitely won't blame me. For 18 years, you treated me like a son, and you knew my thoughts the best. Of course, you knew I wasn't serious. If I hadn't used this method, you would definitely not have let go of me. 3 days later, on the streets of Qincheng, a group of people were blowing and beating at the front, while a red-covered 8-legged sedan chair walked on the road leading to the Lu family in Qincheng. At the forefront was a tall, red-headed horse, and Li Xiaoyao, dressed in the attire of a groom's official, rode on the horse with great pomp. Such a large army marched towards the Lu family in a grand and mighty manner. My master once said that 18 years ago, he was abandoned outside the Lu family. At that time, a bad dog passed by. If it weren't for the people of the Lu family discovering and driving away the bad dog in time, there wouldn't be Li Xiaoyao today. At that time, the master happened to pass by and felt pity, so he took him to the 100,000 mountains of Kunlun. On the day he was taken away, master remembered the kindness of the Lu family and promised to protect their wealth and prosperity for 18 years. The old lady of the Lu family is also a cultivator, and when she saw her master's immortal demeanor and moral character, she was very compatible. Coincidentally, the granddaughter of the Lu family and Li Xiaoyao were born in the same year. The old lady promised to have Li Xiaoyao and the granddaughter of the Lu family make a marriage agreement, and one day when Li Xiaoyao reached adulthood, he would come to marry them. Although Li Xiaoyao was in the mountains, he also knew that it was just a verbal agreement back then. If you come straight to your door after going down the mountain and the Lu family refuses to admit it, it would be a loss of face for his immortal family. Therefore, the first thing Li Xiaoyao did when he went down the mountain was to go to the entrance of Qincheng Hospital and met a wealthy critically ill patient. After being cured, the other party hands out 1 million yuan in cash. Well, with this money, Li Xiaoyao arranged a temporary bridal chamber and created such a big battle. Why are you doing this? It's very simple. The Lu family is a wealthy family in the city of Qin, so they should first create momentum. Let everyone in Qincheng know that 18 years ago, the granddaughter of the Lu family had an engagement with someone, and now they come to pick up the bride. As a wealthy family in Qincheng, if we openly default on our debts, we dare not lose face. Riding on a tall horse, Li Xiaoyao was not much excited. It's really great. I used to be in such a good mood when I got married. Master, if you see me so handsome, you must be happy for me, right? This groom, are you marrying the daughter of whose family? Li Xiaoyao's formation naturally aroused the curiosity of passers-by. What era is this? Even with a big sedan chair and a big horse, it must be a wealthy person playing retro style. Marrying such a wealthy second generation is definitely very happy. The granddaughter of the Lu family in Qincheng. We had an engagement 18 years ago, don't you know? Li Xiaoyao was deliberately showing off, just to make everyone in Qincheng aware of this matter, which forced the Lu family not to default on their debts. To be honest, although this may seem a bit clever, Li Xiaoyao believes that only this method can help him smoothly complete his engagement with the granddaughter of the Lu family. Picking up girls, which man wouldn't use some tricks? Not to mention, with such a shout, it instantly spread from 10 to 10, and the entire Qin city began to stir up. The welcoming team has not yet arrived at the Lu family, and they have received news from them. Father, I will definitely not agree to this marriage. I have already made an agreement with Hu Xiao. When that boy comes down the mountain, I will clearly tell him to get lost and want to marry this young lady, and dream of his dreams. In the living room of the Lu family, a fashionable and beautiful girl was swaying a middle-aged man's arm with a coquettish expression. Did you bring the dowry in Chapter 2? You are listening at Novel Full.audio. This beautiful girl is the daughter of the Lu family, Lu Qiaorua, and the middle-aged man is the current head of the Lu family, Lu Haishan. Back then, the old lady personally agreed to marry Lu Qiaorua and Li Xiaoyao, and Lu Haishan was also present. And when the old lady was on her deathbed, her only last word was to insist that the Lu family abide by the agreement of the past. 18 years have passed, and the Lu family has evolved from a barely able working class to today's wealthy family in Qincheng. Naturally, Lu Haishan would not want to marry his precious daughter to an unknown stranger from another hometown. Xiao Ruo, my father naturally won't let you marry a poor boy. Don't worry about that. Lu Haishan patted his precious daughter's tender little hand and said, however, if that kid came quietly, my father could have sent him away. But now that there is such a big commotion, the whole city of Qin is in turmoil. If our Lu family does not admit this, it will definitely affect the good reputation that our Lu family has accumulated for decades. Father, what should we do? I heard that kid is almost at the doorstep, and if we don't find a way, we won't be able to make it in time. Lu Haishan nodded and said, let me think. At this moment, the butler Gao Yuan hurriedly ran in. Master, the sedan chair has already arrived at the door. What should I do? Lu Haishan frowned and then his brow relaxed. He had already thought of a good solution. Gao Yuan, go and let that kid in. Li Xiaoyao has already dismounted from his high horse. Although he is a new uncle, when he arrives at his father-in-law's doorstep, he cannot be too high-profile. He needs to be more disciplined. The father-in-law raised his daughter to the age of 18, which was also a great kindness. He has already made up his mind that when he marries a new wife, he must do something for his father-in-law's family. At least it's also a matter of the immortal family coming out of the mountains. Just give me some guidance on the country, and my father-in-law's family can also benefit greatly. At that moment, the door to the luxurious mansion of the Lu family, which cost at least tens of millions, finally opened, and the butler Gao Yuan walked out with a smile on his face. Uncle, the master invites you inside. Regarding the marriage of Miss, many people in the Lu family are actually aware of it. However, almost everyone knows that the young lady seems to have a crush, and as for this marriage, since the old lady is no longer here, the marriage cannot be counted. Li Xiaoyao nodded and turned around to wave his hand to the drum band, letting them rest first. After all, it's really tiring to blow and fight all the way, and they need to work even harder when they go back later. Walking up to the butler Gao Yuan, Li Xiaoyao took out a red envelope from his arms and handed it over. Big brother, it's a small gesture of disrespect. Please accept it. There isn't much in the red envelope, only 500 yuan. Li Xiaoyao doesn't have any experience in this area, but he also made some inquiries with others. To enter and marry a bride, one must prepare a red envelope, but anyone who obstructs the door or has relatives related to the bride must give a red envelope to some extent, which is considered a celebration. The butler Gao Yuan did not refuse, although the money was not much, he did not accept it for nothing. With a red envelope in hand, Gao Yuan led the way ahead, and Li Xiaoyao followed behind with a spirited expression on his face. The interior decoration of the Lu family courtyard is quite exquisite, but Li Xiaoyao has no intention of looking, just eager to see his own bride. Just casually lifting his head, Li Xiaoyao was stunned for a moment. A golden auspicious cloud originally formed over the Lu family courtyard. But in the moment he saw it, it was slowly exploding. In that crack, there were faint black gases slowly forming. Black clouds pressing on top. This is an ominous omen, and Li Xiaoyao was taken aback. After following his master for years, he has learned many skills. He has mastered all kinds of feng shui and martial arts deduction. The strange celestial phenomenon of black clouds pressing on top is not a good omen. But that's not a big deal. My master once said that she promised to keep the Lu family safe for 18 years, but now it's time. That golden auspicious cloud should have been set by master back then, and now it's natural for it to scatter. Now, he has arrived at the Lu family, naturally taking over his master and continuing to protect the Lu family. Master, she is an elderly person and her methods are really too powerful. Quickly, Li Xiaoyao appeared in the living room of the Lu family under the guidance of butler Gao Yuan. As soon as he entered the living room, Li Xiaoyao's eyes couldn't move, staring blankly at the beautiful girl sitting on the sofa with no trace of warmth on her face. This must be my new wife, right? At this point, Li Xiaoyao felt his whole body start to heat up, and he quickly recited the Qingxin Jing to stabilize his mind. When his master took him in back then, he quickly discovered that he had abnormal bones. When he saw a beautiful woman, he became restless, which gave him a set of Qingxin Jing, which could calm the evil restlessness in his heart at any time. Are you Li Xiaoyao? Sitting on the sofa, Lu Haishan was not as gloomy as Lu Qiaoruo, but with a brilliant smile on his face. Li Xiaoyao nodded, he had inquired about everything about the Lu family. Although I don't know much, the two people in front of me must be Lu Haishan, the head of the Lu family, and his little wife Lu Qiaoruo. My father.in.law, I am Li Xiaoyao. On my master's order, I am here to marry my fiancée A.E. I hope my father.in.law will succeed. Li Xiaoyao is used to being idle in the mountains, and his master also indulges him a lot, so his temperament is a bit lax. As for saying that he was ordered by his master, it was completely a fabrication made by him, and his master did not arrange this scene. Of course, my master is definitely a good old man and his son will definitely come to seek his wife as soon as possible. Lu Qiaoruo, who was standing beside Li Xiaoyao, became unhappy as he listened to his father.in.law take turns. His mouth moved and he spoke. Li Xiaoyao, we haven't gotten married yet. Don't shout so happily, okay? Li Xiaoyao's gaze turned towards Lu Qiaoruo and he chuckled. Not good, not good. Li Xiaoyao smiled uncontrollably and said, you must be my daughter.in.law, Lu Qiaoruo. Since we made a marriage agreement 18 years ago, it's not unreasonable for me to be called the father.in.law now. Do you think so, father.in.law? Lu Qiaoruo's face turned a bit dark, and Lu Haishan remained calm, but her heart was even more displeased. How do you feel that Li Xiaoyao is a bit foolish? Uncle, you're right. Since the old lady agreed to this marriage, it's not inappropriate for you to call it that way. Just, uncle, according to our rules, marrying a wife requires a dowry first. Have you brought this dowry with you? A dowry. Li Xiaoyao was dumbfounded, he was really unprepared for this. But he has plenty of words to say. My father.in.law, let's not be so cliché, okay? After all, we are a family after getting married. I will make more contributions to our family and be better to my wife. That would be much more sincere and affordable than the dowry, wouldn't it? Lu Haishan really doesn't think it's necessary to continue the conversation. Li Xiaoyao is just a silly person. Hurry up and leave early, and rest assured. Thinking of this, Lu Haishan stood up. Well said, well said. Uncle, there's something you absolutely can't do without. It was the old lady who made this engagement between you and Qiaoruo back then. Now that you want to marry Qiaoruo, you should first go and pay respects to the old lady. It should be possible. My grandmother is extremely loyal to me, so it's also appropriate to go and comfort her. My father.in.law, please tell me where my grandmother is. My wife and I will go to worship now, and then take her back to the roundhouse. Chapter 3. Invasion of Evil Chi. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Lu Haishan's old face turned black. What's going on? What did my mother do back then? She could tell that the old nun had some kind of immortal spirit, and the disciples she would cultivate in the future would definitely be 1 in a million. What kind of person is this? He is all focused on talking to women, and he even puts it on the table without being polite at all. Fortunately, the old lady is not here, otherwise. Pooh, pooh, pooh. Lu Haishan almost gave himself a few big mouths. How could he have this idea? It's really unfilial. Don't think about it, it's better to quickly get rid of this silly boy and deal with him. We can't let him bring bad luck to the developing momentum of the Lu family. Right, uncle. Then you can set off with Qiarua now. The journey is long, try to go early and return early. I also hope to have a grandson as soon as possible. Li Xiaoyao doesn't know what Lu Haishan thinks in his heart, but there is nothing wrong with what people say. Getting married early, entering the bridal chamber early, isn't it possible to have a grandson early? Hee, my son Li Xiaoyao should at least be the queen of immortals. Thinking of this, Li Xiaoyao walked up to Lu Qiarua. Looking at this delicate little beauty, my heart feels warm. This looks really handsome. Her master has chosen a good wife for her family, and she hasn't run away since giving birth to a chubby little boy. Daughter-in-law, let's not fuss anymore. Let's hurry and set off. Li Xiaoyao was about to reach out and hold Lu Qiarua's hand, but the girl's hand shrank and her face didn't have any good color. Li Xiaoyao, wait for me at the door first. I need to say a few words to my father. Okay, after all, my daughter is my father's little cotton jacket. It seems like we're getting married soon, and my father must be feeling uneasy. You should comfort my father.in.law as well. Daughter.in.law, then I'll go out first. Hurry up, I've grown grass in my heart. As he spoke, Li Xiaoyao happily walked out and even patted the butler Gao Yuan on the shoulder before leaving. Old butler, there seems to be some bone problems with your body. When I get married to my wife, we will be a family. I'll give you a prescription, and you can live for another few decades. This statement made Gao Yuan's face pale with anger. He has a great body and went for a physical examination a few days ago. The doctor said he has no problems at all. When this brat spoke, it seemed as if he was going to drive Hashi. Father, you're not really going to promise me to marry this crazy little kid, are you? As soon as Li Xiaoyao left, Lu Qiarua threw herself into Lu Haishan's arms and almost cried, I tell you, if you force me to marry him, I would rather die. Silly child, of course my father wouldn't watch you jump into the fire pit. I already have plans for this. After finishing speaking, he waved to the butler Gao Yuan and asked him to walk up to the two of them. He murmured a word and Lu Qiarua finally turned his worries into joy. The marriage of the daughter of the Lu family was supposed to have spread throughout the entire city of Qin. The Lu family is a wealthy family in the city of Qin. According to the rules of the wealthy family in the past, when marrying a wife or daughter, it is necessary to arrange 3 months in advance, send invitations to relatives and friends 1 month in advance, and hang lanterns and decorations 3 days in advance. As for the Willow family, the groom's 8-legged sedan chair arrived at the door, but there was no festive atmosphere in the wealthy courtyard. At this moment, hundreds or even thousands of people from the Qin city gathered outside the Lu family gate, stretching their necks one by one. One is curiosity, and the other is to see who the groom of the Lu family is. Li Xiaoyao stood outside the gate with a handsome and imposing demeanor, waving and greeting the crowd with a proud spring breeze. Dear parents and fellow villagers, you are so enthusiastic, it moves me so much. Sigh, I didn't know everyone was so enthusiastic, and I didn't prepare any wedding candies or anything. But it's okay, when my wife comes out, our couple will bow 3 times to everyone. Thank you for coming and supporting us. The common people around me just burst into laughter, thinking that the groom's official position was quite interesting. How could they feel that their brain was a bit undeveloped? Can they be considered as coming to support? However, no one dares to make fun of Li Xiaoyao casually. He is the uncle of the Lu family. If he offends, the old man of the Lu family will become angry, and ordinary people will not be able to handle it. Fortunately, at this moment, Lu Qiaorua walked out of the door and everyone couldn't help but whisper. What's going on? Isn't it a wedding celebration? According to our customs, at least we should wear a festive big red, right? Yeah, right, why are you wearing a white sportswear? It's a bit of a ruin to the scenery. Brother, are you ignorant now? What era is it now, and old rules are slowly becoming outdated. Young people nowadays worship foreign things and wear white, symbolizing purity. Li Xiaoyao didn't care about these discussions and would reach out to hold Lu Qiaorua's little hand as he walked over. But Lu Qiaorua managed to dodge lightly again, but at last she still had a barely forced smile on her face. Li Xiaoyao, stop chattering and let's go. But Li Xiaoyao was not in a hurry to leave. He had just promised everyone. Now that Lu Qiaorua has come out, he naturally wants to fulfill it. Don't worry about your wife for now. It seems like you have so many friends who have supported us. There's nothing else, let's bow 3 times to everyone as a thank you. What is it? Lu Qiaorua's angry little nose trembled uncontrollably, and she didn't even want to cooperate with Li Xiaoyao. But it seems that this silly little boy has a narrow mind. If he doesn't agree, he might not want to leave. Anyway, it's just a show and a show, otherwise when the next thing happens, the people will have to chew their tongues again. There was no way, Lu Qiaorua could only stand almost 1 meter away from Li Xiaoyao, trying to control her emotions. Okay, then let's bow to everyone. Li Xiaoyao was overjoyed at first glance. His wife was giving him face. As my master once said, when marrying a husband, the daughter-in-law is really obedient. A bow. 2 bows. Bow again. Li Xiaoyao's voice was quite hearty, causing hundreds or even thousands of ordinary people to applaud. Now I don't think the groom's official mind is lacking, on the contrary, I think he is too cultured. After instructing the sedan chair driver and band to wait for him to return, Li Xiaoyao lifted his head. He had originally planned to get on the car with Lu Qiaorua, but suddenly saw strange black clouds piercing through the sky, which were already exploding golden auspicious clouds, falling towards the direction of the Lu family's main house. What kind of evil invasion is this? Li Xiaoyao was about to take a closer look when Lu Qiaorua impatiently greeted him. Li Xiaoyao, are you leaving or not? If you don't leave, I'll get off the car. Our marriage can be considered dishonest and you blew it. Lao Tai, please leave a book review and add a bookshelf. In the new book period, data is very important. Just think of it, extend your precious little hand and help. Chapter 4. Uncle, please come on. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Li Xiaoyao turned around and saw that his wife's eyes were warm and a bit sticky. Never mind, you'll be back soon, won't you? It won't be a big problem to help my father-in-law ward off evil spirits when the time comes. Thinking of this, Li Xiaoyao smiled and got into the car. Daughter-in-law, your car is really amazing. It sways and feels a bit dazed when sitting on it. It's high-tech. Li Xiaoyao grew up in the mountains since childhood and has never seen a car before. Curiosity is only natural. But Lu Qiaorua didn't know, thinking in her heart that Li Xiaoyao must be a poor boy who had never taken a car. With this thought, I became even more disdainful of Li Xiaoyao. Che, Li Xiaoyao, you're right. Our car is high-tech. But I'm quite curious. You haven't taken a car before, so what should you do when traveling? Li Xiaoyao didn't know that Lu Qiaorua was playing with him, but he actually chuckled. Daughter-in-law, I usually don't go out, and I also don't go out either. Basically, I make friends with birds and beasts in the mountains and compete with them in terms of foot strength. So, when I run, my speed is definitely not slower than your high-tech car. Believe it or not. Actually, what Li Xiaoyao said is really not wrong. For the past 18 years in the mountains, apart from my master, I have been accompanying all the birds and beasts in the mountains, which is truly true. But Lu Qiaorua didn't know and thought that Li Xiaoyao was mentally ill, but instead wanted to continue teasing and teasing. Alright, then go ahead and let me take a look. I've seen many boasters these days, but I haven't encountered you boasting like that. Okay, then I'll go down and show you something. Speaking, Li Xiaoyao really stood up and wanted to jump off, while the butler driving, Gao Yuan, kept watching. This is not feasible. The current speed is over 80 miles, and if you jump down, you won't even fall to death. If that's the case, people in Qincheng will mistakenly believe that it was the Lu family who pushed him down, otherwise normal people would jump out of the car for what? Uncle, stop making a fuss. We still have to hurry and make our way. As Gao Yuan spoke, he gave a glance to Lu Qiaorua, who immediately understood. Forget it, sit down quickly, we're in a hurry to make our way. Daughter-in-law, you are doubting my ability. I can't even jump down and fall to death. Don't jump even if you can't fall to death. I don't want you to die before you leave Qincheng. Our Lu family doesn't want to carry this blame. Li Xiaoyao really sat down and muttered, my wife has said that, so I'll listen to you. I've heard that when I listen to my wife and have a full meal, she cares about you for your own good and loves you. Lu Qiaorua simply turned her head and didn't want to listen to Li Xiaoyao's chatter anymore. She was mentally ill. If you talk about Li Xiaoyao, he has been in the mountains for too long, and besides those birds and beasts, he just fools around with his master. In addition, his master dotes on him too much, so naturally he has developed a very casual personality. However, being casual does not mean being careless. After arriving in Qin City, he inquired about some things about the Lu family, although not much, he still had a partial understanding. The old lady of the Lu family passed away 3 years ago and was buried in the ancestral tomb of the Lu family. This is normal, there is no ordinary person who does not die. Anyone who dies, whether as an adult or not, must be buried in the ancestral tomb. Moreover, the Lu family ancestral tomb is located in the suburbs of Qincheng, and it is said that feng shui is good. But now the butler Gao Yuan is running all the way, not going to the suburbs at all. Why not go to pay respects to the old lady? Just as Li Xiaoyao was having doubts in his heart, the car finally stopped. Looking up, there is a large river several hundred meters wide ahead. Uncle, after crossing the Qin River, we have arrived at the Lu family cemetery. Hurry up and board the boat. I'm not buying it. Li Xiaoyao felt something strange in his heart. Although he had never been to the Lu family cemetery, he had inquired clearly that the Lu family cemetery was located in the southeast of Qin City, which was in the northwest direction, completely opposite to the north. But Li Xiaoyao didn't go to the point. This time when he came down the mountain, he only had two purposes. One is marrying his own daughter-in-law, who has been holding it for 18 years. Although he is now considered an adult, he is not yet a complete man. Marrying a wife and entering the bridal chamber is the true man. Of course, this can also be considered as gratitude. 18 years ago, if it weren't for the compassion of the old lady of the Lu family, Li Xiaoyao would have become dog food. This kindness cannot be forgotten. There is another purpose, he needs to figure out his own background. People are raised by their parents, so they definitely don't jump out of the cracks like Sun Monkey. My master once said that he was born into a wealthy family. So from the day he became sensible, he always wanted to figure out one thing. Since his master said he should have been born into a wealthy family, his parents must have been very wealthy, but why did they abandon him? They are wealthy families, and when they give birth to a son, they usually celebrate for 3 days. But what about Li Xiaoyao? Almost fed the dog. He must ask his parents why they did that back then, and whether he was some kind of weirdo who wanted to throw him away. Of course, things need to be done one by one, and food needs to be eaten one by one. First, fulfill the agreement made by my master with the elderly lady of the Lu family, marry a beautiful daughter. In law, take care of the safety of the Lu family, and then search for her family. So, since we are going to marry at the door, according to the rules, we cannot be too noisy. Everything should be smooth and orderly, so that the young couple can love and be kind after marriage. Since his daughter. In law has already boarded the ship, he shouldn't look for any problems. Let's see what his daughter. In law wants to do before we talk. The big ship quickly set sail, riding the wind and breaking the waves. Looking at his wife standing at the bow of the boat, Li Xiaoyao happily leaned over and saw that Lu Qiaoruo's beautiful face was not at all hot, but Li Xiaoyao didn't care. Emotions always need to be cultivated slowly. Daughter-in-law, did grandma mention our marriage before she left? For example, if there are any last wishes, I can recite them in front of grandma's grave and help her fulfill them. Li Xiaoyao approached and had nothing to say. Lu Qiaoruo didn't have a good impression of this simple and silly person. She frowned and said unhappily, "Grandma said, I must marry you. It was because of your appearance that our Lu family got better back then. If it weren't for you, I would have gotten married by now." Li Xiaoyao was so happy that he couldn't close his mouth. Of course, Master has protected the Lu family for 18 years, how could it be so bad? Daughter-in-law, grandma has great vision. I am a lucky star. Li Xiaoyao felt a bit flustered and said, "I'll tell you, as long as we get married, you'll become my wife." Before he could finish speaking, Li Xiaoyao realized something was wrong. The old butler Gao Yuan walked over from the cabin, followed by 4 big men with big arms and round waists, each with well-developed muscles, and his gaze was not friendly at all. "Uncle, please." The distant voice was icy and cold, with no heat or air at all. Chapter 5. It hurts so much. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Li Xiaoyao didn't understand what Gao Yuan meant by these words, but he felt a little happy in his heart. "Butler, do you mean to have my daughter. In law and I go into the cabin almost like whispers?" "That's also true. There's a lot of wind and waves outside, and my wife is so wealthy that she's prone to catching a cold from the wind. It's better to get into the cabin." Li Xiaoyao thought arrogantly and wanted to take a step to pull Lu Qiaoruo, but the young lady swung her sleeve to avoid him, and the 4 big men immediately surrounded Li Xiaoyao. "Uncle, don't pretend to be confused with a clear understanding. It's nothing else, are you jumping down on your own or are they helping you?" Gao Yuan said and pointed under the ship. This time, Li Xiaoyao finally understood. It seems that the Qin River is at least tens of meters deep, and the water flow is extremely fast. If an ordinary person jumps down, they will die or die. "Wife, what do you mean?" Li Xiaoyao felt a bit unhappy and said, "You're trying to murder your husband." "I pooh." At this point, Lu Qiaoruo also stopped pretending. "Li Xiaoyao, do you think my grandiose Miss Lu will marry you, a foolish person, and a mentally ill person with an IQ of 3 or 2 years old?" "That's right, what I just told you is indeed true. Grandma asked me to wait for you. I also waited, which can be considered as fulfilling grandma's last words." "What?" Li Xiaoyao is a bit confused. "I dare not accept this marriage. Shaving one's head and being picky is hot." Now Li Xiaoyao can't accept it anymore. Why don't he just marry a wife? Why would he even have to die? Okay, I don't know if you're unwilling. Since that's the case, I won't force it either. I can't do this marriage anymore, can I? That won't work. The butler Gao Yuan spoke up and said, Li Xiaoyao, you should know that there is a saying that you cannot live without committing your own wrongdoing. If you quietly come to the Lu family, as long as you are sensible, my Lu family may even give you some money to pass the time. But now it's not possible anymore. The entire Qin city knows that Uncle Lu of the Lu family is coming. If you don't die, our Lu family has become a notorious person who values poverty and wealth. So, stop talking and get on the road. Gao Yuan understood clearly that Li Xiaoyao couldn't jump down on his own. Of course, not to mention Li Xiaoyao, even Wang Xiaoyao and Wu Xiaoyao wouldn't take the initiative to jump down. Who wouldn't want to live a good life without any worries? So with a wave of their hand, the four big men rushed over, grabbing their arms while grabbing their legs. The four of them had a clear division of labor, so they directly lifted Li Xiaoyao up. Li Xiaoyao did not struggle. These four rammed goods, any movement of his mind will turn their bodies into ashes. Lu Qiaorua, do you want to think about it again? I'm here to repay you. If Grandma knew you did this, she would have been angry to death if you hadn't died. Also, if you kill me, no one can help with your family's affairs, Lu Qiaorua. Before he could finish speaking, four big men came and threw him down with a whoosh. This matter is causing trouble, and Li Xiaoyao looked up at Lu Qiaorua on the boat in the water, feeling a bit unwilling. Why is it so difficult to marry a wife and break down? Uncle Gao, is it a bit too cruel for us to do this? On the boat, Lu Qiaorua looked at Li Xiaoyao drifting up and down with the waves in the water, feeling a bit impatient. There's nothing we can do. If he doesn't die, miss, the marriage between you and Hu Xiao may come to an end. Only through our two families' marriage can the Lu family continue to develop and grow. In a few years, they will become the top powerful family in Qin City. We must not let such a fool ruin the future of Miss and the Lu family. As she spoke, the big ship had already turned around and turned back in the direction it was coming from. Li Xiaoyao in the Qin River is floating on the moving water, and his mind is in a mess. Master, what should I do as a disciple? It's not good to start. It's a bit embarrassing to be killed instead of repaying the kindness. It's all your fault, Master. What are you saying? My little daughter .in.law is waiting for me, waiting to kill me. Feeling annoyed, a small boat rushed over not far away. Grandpa, look, that seems to be a person. A little girl stood on the bow of the boat and pointed in the direction of Li Xiaoyao with her hand. An elderly man with graying hair stood beside the little girl, carefully looked, and rowed a small boat as he approached Li Xiaoyao. What should I do? Li Xiaoyao originally wanted to stand up from the water when Lu Qiaorua and his big boat went far away. But now being seen by this generation, if they stand up, they will definitely be scared. It seems that they are here to save people, so just lie down and let this whole family experience the feeling of saving people, which can also be considered as helping them accumulate virtue. Quickly, the small boat approached, and the old man reached over with a hook in his hand. Li Xiaoyao felt a wave of nervousness in his heart. He had not yet broken through to the realm of immortality, and was still a mortal body. He wouldn't suddenly create a hole, would he? Fortunately, the old man was quite accurate. The hook was directly placed on Li Xiaoyao's arm and he approached the boat. The old man used his strength to pull him up. Grandpa, it seems like you're out of breath. Are you dead? The little girl probed Li Xiaoyao's nose with her little hand. The old man was very anxious and touched Li Xiaoyao's pulse. It's strange, there's still a pulse, why is there no gas left? Qing'er, do me a favor. You hold his head and don't touch the deck to hurt him. Let's find a way to empty his stomach of water. As he spoke, the old man grabbed Li Xiaoyao's legs and placed them on his shoulder. The little girl named Qing'er sat on the deck, with Li Xiaoyao's head pressed against her. In this way, Li Xiaoyao was upright and upside down. Big brother, hurry up and vomit. If you have water in your stomach, you may suffocate. Big brother, wake up quickly, otherwise my stomach will be crushed by you. The young girl's tender hands touched Li Xiaoyao's face, warm and touching, making Li Xiaoyao's heart skip a beat. I can't continue to pretend anymore. They gave me the opportunity to go down the stairs. If I persist any further, it will be difficult for the little girl. I don't know how this old man will save him. But there is no water in the stomach, and of course, even if there is water, you can't vomit, can you? You can't vomit on the little girl, that's torture for good people. There was no way. Li Xiaoyao could only slowly open his eyes, and the little girl saw it all at once. Grandpa, Grandpa, Big brother is awake. As soon as she spoke, the little girl jumped up with joy, but Li Xiaoyao's head hit the deck with a bang. It hurts so much, Li Xiaoyao said. Chapter 6. Lightning Strike. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The old man was also overjoyed. He put down Li Xiaoyao's legs and leaned over to take a look. This young man, as long as you're okay, as long as you're okay. Qing'er, hurry up and find something to eat. I'm sure you're starving. Qing'er agreed and ran towards the cabin, quickly bringing back 2 pancakes. Big brother, you can eat. Only when you're full can you have strength. Right, young man, let's eat. I don't have much delicious food here, make do with it. Li Xiaoyao always feels a bit uncomfortable with the way these 2 men are called, one is called Big Brother and the other is called Little Brother. He is a grandfather and grandson, and his appearance has made him a generation, which is not acceptable. Grandpa, my name is Li Xiaoyao. You can call me by my name. Call me Little Brother, but little sister can't call me Big Brother anymore. The seniority is a bit messy. Ah. The old man just listened to it. Is this person quite funny? He almost died. He is so particular about living, how can he feel a bit foolish? Okay, Li Xiaoyao. You're a sensible child, just follow your advice. Li Xiaoyao, are you unable to take it seriously during this broad day, or did you accidentally fall into the water? It's normal to save someone and ask for the reason. Li Xiaoyao's mind is also quite fast. He can't say that marrying a wife almost killed him, so he has no face. Fortunately, being with my master in the mountains and being smooth-tongued, I came up with a reason casually, and the old man believed it. During the conversation, Li Xiaoyao learned that the old man's name was Lin Mengsheng, and the little girl's name was Lin Qing. There were only their grandfather and grandson at home, who made a living by fishing in the Qin River. I woke up early today and got a good harvest. I'm rushing back and trying to sell for a good price. Then Lin Mengsheng went to sail, and Li Xiaoyao accompanied Lin Qing to sit at the bow of the boat. The little girl spoke a lot and asked questions. Finally, the little one said, Big brother, how do I feel like you don't know anything? You're even younger than me. Yeah, I live in the mountains and I'm not familiar with the outside world at all. Qing'er, in the future, you can give me more guidance, Big brother. Okay, Big brother, I'll teach you from now on. I can tell you, I know so much more. The 2 of them were chatting and laughing, and soon the ship docked at a pier. This shore is already bustling, with many fishing boats returning. It's quite lively and popular. Lin Mengsheng said that this can also be considered a fish market. Every time I come back from fishing, there are merchants waiting here. However, this dock belongs to the Wu family in Qincheng, and fishermen cannot directly sell it to merchants. The Wu family first buys it and then resells it to merchants to earn the price difference. Although Li Xiaoyao has no experience in business, he feels that this seems a bit unfair. The fish I caught, isn't it free to sell to anyone? Why should I still be controlled by the Wu family? Grandpa, the Wu family is bullying people. Why is it like the underworld? Can't we not sell it to them? Upon hearing Li Xiaoyao's words, Lin Mengsheng's face turned pale with fear. Just as he was about to speak up to stop him, a man in a suit and big sunglasses, accompanied by 4 strong young men, swaggered over. "Old Lin too, our young lady's birthday is the day after tomorrow, and we need a lot of fish for the banquet. There's nothing else, your boat of fish goods will be requisitioned by our Wu family." With a wave of their hands, the 4 young men boarded the boat and began moving the fish that had already been packed in a fishing basket. Upon hearing this, Lin Mengsheng's legs became weak from fear. How can this work? Every time I came back from fishing in the past, the Wu family would suppress his price, but at least they would give him money. Expropriation means not giving a penny. Brother Dao, I'll do my best. I'm still waiting for this money to pay off the debt, Lin Mengsheng said as he went to stop the transportation of the fish basket. This is called Daoj, and the Wu family is in charge of this dock. His name is Zheng Shoudao, and everyone calls him Daoj. Zheng Shoudao's face darkened when he saw Lin Mengsheng causing trouble, and he helped the big sunglasses on the bridge of his nose. "Old man, don't be shameless. Wu Jiazheng uses your fish products to save face. If you don't give fish, right? Alright, we happen to lack a maid by our old master's side. Your granddaughter is just the right age, let's take her back." Immediately, the 4 young people threw the fish basket and ran towards Lin Qing. Seeing the little sister's face turn pale with fear, Li Xiaoyao reached out and pulled her behind her. "Don't be afraid, Qing'er. Big brother is here, no one dares to bully you." Li Xiaoyao was telling the truth, but Zheng Shoudao believed that Li Xiaoyao was pretending to be coerced, with a sharp smile on his lips. "Kid, which scallion are you? Dare to come out and deal with Lord Guan's affairs? Believe it or not, I'll throw you into the river to feed the fish." As for Li Xiaoyao, when he saw Zheng Shoudao pouting, he also pouting and said, "Kid, what kind of scallion are you? If you want to take someone else's things for free, you can't do it. If you're in a hurry to jump off the wall and want to catch someone, then you're not afraid of thunder and lightning." Ha ha ha. Zheng Shoudao never paid attention to Li Xiaoyao at all. On this dock, no one dares to challenge him in person like this. "Alright, then I'll take a look. It's like a lightning strike, my body is itching. If the lightning were to strike me, it would definitely be great." Li Xiaoyao chuckled and pointed to the sky with his finger. "I didn't expect you to be okay with this bite, okay?" Immediately, the person who heard the commotion and came to watch the commotion loudly said, "Everyone, stay away. Thunder is coming, don't harm the innocent." As the words fell, suddenly there were a few thunderbolts in the sky, causing everyone to quickly dodge. Zheng Shoudao was also surprised, but he didn't care either. The climate of Qincheng is like this, and it happens to be the rainy season. Thunderstorms also come naturally, scaring anyone. But this idea had not yet subsided, and suddenly a thunderbolt rang from behind his buttocks. His pants on the back of his buttocks were instantly blown open, revealing 2 big buttocks. He trembled in pain. Is Nima really going to be struck by lightning? Zheng Shoudao was frightened and was about to run, covering his buttocks. Suddenly, another thunderbolt exploded on the road ahead, and his big sunglasses were chopped off the bridge of his nose and fell to the ground. "Touch your nose, I'm still wet." But it's not over yet, with a crackling sound and constant thunder, but it's right in front of and behind him, almost burning his whole body. Not to mention the clothes, my whole body feels as if I have been burned. Zheng Shoudao, I told you I was going to be struck by lightning, but you still don't believe me. I think this is your disaster. If you want to break it, quickly take my grandfather's fish goods, otherwise your life will be in danger. Zheng Shoudao certainly didn't want to agree, but Lei Yi was too scary and appeared in front of and behind him. Continuing like this will result in death. Okay, Lao Lin too, I'll take your fish. According to the market price, it's 10 yuan per kilogram. Li Xiaoyao shook his head and said, "No way, if it were 10 yuan at first, you wouldn't have had this disaster. But now the heavens don't agree, at least double it." Chapter 7. The Liu family's wrongs. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. Zheng Shoudao was also really scared. He couldn't be willing to ask for money without risking his life. He gritted his teeth and shouted at his subordinates. Is Nima foolish? Hurry up and weigh it, according to 20 yuan. Hurry up, I'm going to be blown away. The four young people had long been frightened and numb all over, living for more than 20 years. They had heard of someone being struck by lightning, but they had never seen someone so struck. I won't chop you to death, but I will definitely scare you to death. Quickly, four people hurriedly weighed over 200 pounds. According to the price of 20 yuan, it's over 4,000. Just give it some money immediately. Zheng Shoudao, the heavens saw that you were willing to repent, so you didn't take any action. I think in the future, you should accumulate good deeds and virtues, otherwise next time you should not be like this, but directly split you in half. Teaching Zheng Shoudao a lesson, Li Xiaoyao couldn't help but secretly laugh. After going down the mountain, including earning that 1 million, this is probably the second time. If I don't make a move, I'll do it. If I make a move, I won't go empty-handed. Holding thunder in hand, Zheng Shoudao, don't you know that all immortal families have this ability? Li Xiaoyao secretly put away his spell, and Zheng Shoudao breathed a sigh of relief. This person really lost a lot of money. Some things are quite imposing when taken out at night, but they are exposed in public. Why does Nima have a feeling of eating shit? Afraid of the thunder falling again, he ran away like this. The four young people also followed suit, fearing that it would be their turn next. Daoj, that kid is quite evil. Can he use any spells? It's just a coincidence to talk to his grandmother. Go, keep an eye on me, and I'll let him know what the good cycle of heaven is. Lin Mengsheng was overjoyed and didn't expect to sell for a good price. But all of this always feels related to meeting this young man Li Xiaoyao. As for the scene just now, Lin Mengsheng doesn't think it has anything to do with Li Xiaoyao. If you really have this ability, would you almost drown? Even ghosts wouldn't believe it. But today's harvest is really good, over 4,000. Lin Mengsheng bought some delicious food and said he was going to entertain Li Xiaoyao. Previously, Li Xiaoyao said in the middle of the river that he had no father, no mother, and no job. I was planning to take a bath in the river, but almost drowned. Speaking of which, this kid is really pitiful. The so-called suffering people sympathize with them, and Lin Mengsheng couldn't bear to watch Li Xiaoyao camping on the street. Anyway, the dilapidated house at home is also idle. Let this young man have a place to stay first. Li Xiaoyao doesn't think so. At least he rented a room in the hotel as a wedding room. The wedding was not held successfully, and money cannot be spent in vain, right? Without a hostess, the male host would not make any mistakes by staying in an empty room alone. Grandpa, I won't go. No, big brother. You're so amazing, I still need to learn from you. Also, my grandfather cooks delicious food. Qinger, please, big brother. Lin Qing recognized Li Xiaoyao as a person with great abilities and held on to his arm without letting go. Looking at the innocent and lovely little girl, Li Xiaoyao couldn't bear it a bit, but he still had one more thing to do. Okay, Qinger, big brother agrees to you. Li Xiaoyao patted Lin Qing's head and said, however, big brother still has some things to do. Can you tell me where I live and I'll go after I finish the task? Big brother, you can't lie to me. My grandfather said that deceiving people is like a puppy, and you'll get beaten when you go out. The little girl spoke in her mouth, but she was still worried that Li Xiaoyao would go away and never come back, so she extended her little finger. Hook up, big brother, you want to hook up with me? My grandfather said, as long as you hook up, I can pull you back wherever you go. The cuteness of this little girl really made Li Xiaoyao laugh, and her bad mood also recovered a lot. Don't worry, big brother is as good as his word. If big brother runs away, with just one effort, he won't be able to run away. After playing a game of hook and loop with Lin Qing asking Lin Mengxing about their address, Li Xiaoyao turned around and left. Li Xiaoyao didn't do anything else. He went straight to the street to buy burning paper and incense for going to the grave. He wanted to go and pay homage to the old lady of the Lu family who saved him back then. The wedding was not successful, was it because I didn't go to pay respects to the old lady in a timely manner? After all, it was the old lady who saved him back then. She went down the mountain to repay her kindness and didn't visit her in the first place. Maybe it was the old lady who blamed him and made him lie dead on the Qin River. Upon reaching this point, holding burning paper and incense in his hand, Li Xiaoyao unfolded his body and ran towards the southeast direction of Qin City. Oh, it's strange. How did I see a figure just now? Yeah, me too. It's like a gust of wind blowing by, haunted. Hurry up, hurry up. Qin City has been very unstable lately, with several little boys missing. Maybe it's really haunted. The place where Li Xiaoyao passed was shaped like a spring breeze, which surprised passers-by. But his footsteps on the snow were impeccable, and even his master praised him endlessly. Ordinary people naturally couldn't see him. Li Xiaoyao listened clearly to the discussions of passers-by. Haunted. Qin City is adjacent to 100,000 mountains and is a sanctuary for immortals. How could it be haunted? Li Xiaoyao didn't calm down after hearing these words. If it was really like this, it would be a provocation to the immortal family, and we can't just sit idly by. Exorcism and demon control are originally the responsibility of the immortal family, but this matter cannot be done carelessly. After running all the way and inquiring with people, I quickly arrived at a cemetery by the mountain and water. This should be the cemetery of the old lady of the Lu family, and the tombstone has the words, filial piety to the son of Haishan. This is strange. At least the Lu family is also a wealthy family, and their population is not declining. Why is there only the old lady here? Li Xiaoyao felt strange in his heart, but he didn't think much and went straight over. Old lady, you also left a bit early, shouldn't you? It would be great if you could wait for me for another 3 years. With you around, the daughter-in-law you promised me would definitely not dare to murder my husband. If you pick a reason, you can make a dream for me and guide me on what to do next. Old lady, I sincerely went down the mountain to repay my kindness, but you are no longer there. I thought marrying your granddaughter would be a way to repay you, but your Lu family almost killed me. Can you tell me, should I continue to repay my kindness or seek revenge? Li Xiaoyao was burning paper while muttering, and the lit incense suddenly went out inexplicably. How is this dripping? Li Xiaoyao has been studying under his master for 18 years, proficient in medical spells and feng shui mysteries. According to the Xuanji sect, the sudden extinction of incense is due to the lingering thoughts of the departed in the world. The old lady's soul hasn't left yet. The Lu family has committed wrongdoing. It has been 3 years now, and the old lady still has some worries to worry about. Can't she please her elderly family? Chapter 8. A Confused Face. You are listening at novelfull.audio. According to the Xuanji sect, if the 3-year period has passed and the soul has not yet left, there can no longer be any reincarnation, and from then on, they will become wandering souls and wild ghosts, lonely and helpless. If you encounter a soul control master with a malicious heart, you will be caught and become a chess piece that is being used. The fate that follows will either be refined or destroyed. Speaking in short, ultimately leads to ashes and smoke. The old lady is at least a benefactor, so Li Xiaoyao plans to spend some time and let the old lady's soul return. But at this moment, an old man walked out of a dilapidated temple not far from the cemetery and walked towards this side. This young man, what kind of person are you from the Lu family? Why did you come to worship devoutly? The old man looked up and down at Li Xiaoyao. He had been here for 3 years and had never seen this young man at all. It's getting dark now, and it's actually quite scary to come out of a dilapidated temple at this moment. However, the saying goes that skilled artists are bold, and coupled with Li Xiaoyao's frequent wandering in the mountains at night, there is nothing that can make him afraid. "Old man, my name is Li Xiaoyao. The old lady is my benefactor, that's why she came to pay her respects. And you, who are you?" The old man's face lit up with joy upon hearing this. Suddenly, tears streamed down his face and he bowed deeply to the cemetery. "Heaven has eyes, heaven has eyes. Old lady, you are really amazing. Li Xiaoyao has really come." After speaking, the old man turned around and looked at Li Xiaoyao with a smile as he began his legend. "Li Xiaoyao, let me introduce myself. My name is Dong Shuo. When the old lady was alive, I was the butler of the Lu family. 3 years ago, after the old lady passed away, I stayed here to watch her spirits. Li Xiaoyao, my elderly family used to be able to live a carefree life, but it was because of you that I stayed alone here for 3 years. You kid, you need to give me some compensation, otherwise I'll lose a lot." Wait. Li Xiaoyao was a bit confused and said, "Old man, I'm confused when you say that. The Lu family has a butler, how could there be another butler?" Speaking of this, Li Xiaoyao suddenly realized himself. I understand now. The so-called one emperor, one courtier, must be that after the old lady passed away, your legitimate army was fired. I guess you must have had no choice but to run to the old lady's place to complain, didn't you? And then, if you want to extort some money from me, I'm sorry. My pockets are even cleaner than Nian's old face, so you must be disappointed now." Dong Shuo laughed heartily and asked, "Can I blackmail you for money?" "The money in my pocket, you haven't spent it well for several lifetimes, have you?" "Of course, that money doesn't seem to belong to me." "Kid, don't be so talkative with me. Back in the day, you were almost eaten by a wild dog. If it weren't for the old lady asking me to drive the wild dog away and take you back to the Lu family, you wouldn't have had the chance to talk to me like this now." Ah. Li Xiaoyao is a bit uneasy now. So, this person in front of him is also his benefactor. Be polite when speaking to your benefactor, otherwise you will be punished by heaven. Quickly, Li Xiaoyao bowed to Dong Shuo and spoke with a smile. "Old man, I'm sorry. I didn't know you had a share of the credit for saving me back then. Since that's the case, at least I want to thank you. Let you know that saving a person's life is better than building a level 7 pagoda, and saving a person's life is also a virtue. Let you know that good and evil will eventually be rewarded." "Come today," Li Xiaoyao said a lot, then his wrist shook and 5 bundles of unopened banknotes fell in front of Dong Shuo. "Old man, originally, I intended to give the remaining money to my daughter.in.law. But now I don't see a chance anymore. My daughter.in.law hasn't been married, so it's useless to keep it. I'll give it to you as a thank you for saving her life back then." Dong Shuo glanced at it and found that it was at least 500,000 yuan. For him, although it's not a huge sum of money, giving away 500,000 yuan at once is also a big deal. This kid, the old lady didn't take a glance and had a kind heart. Li Xiaoyao, I don't want the money anymore. If you have this kind of heart, it's just compensation for me. Oh, by the way, have you been to the Lu family? Li Xiaoyao naturally does not deny it, although it is a bit embarrassing for his wife not to marry and fall into this field. There is nothing to hide in front of the benefactor. So, he briefly explained the process of the matter. "I think so. Dong Shuo seems like a good person and would sympathize with him to some extent. At least give him some comfort, so that his heart can be balanced." I didn't expect Dong Shuo to burst into laughter upon hearing this. "Kid, let me tell you, that little coward from Gao Yuan was my disciple back then. I only became a butler since I left the Lu family. That little coward is like a single-minded person. He can do whatever his master asks him to do. Don't blame him for this. Okay, let's not talk about that anymore. Li Xiaoyao, what do you plan to do next? Li Xiaoyao just chuckled and shrugged his shoulders. What else can I do? I came down the mountain this time to repay my master and fulfill the agreement with the old lady. Since Lang has feelings for me and no intentions, let's forget it. After paying respects to the old lady, I have nothing to do with the Lu family. Why should I go? Dong Shuo shook his head upon hearing this. This won't work, Li Xiaoyao. Do you know why I'm here? Let me tell you, it's the old lady who asked me to stay here. She knows that if you come to Qincheng, you might end up with a disheveled face. When the old lady left, she said, the Lu family saved you, that's the fate of the Lu family. Of course, you also have to give this fate. So, the old lady asked me to pass you a message. If you want to find something related to your own background, or, if you want to find something that may prove your origin, you must marry Lu Qiaoruo. There is no second way to go. Upon hearing this, Li Xiaoyao became very worried. Yes, he came to the Lu family to repay his kindness and also to see if he could find anything about his background from the old lady. When his master took him away from the Lu family, he was wearing Lu family clothes without any clues about his background. Feeling depressed, Dong Shuo spoke again. Li Xiaoyao, listen carefully. The old lady guessed that she was not around, and the descendants of the Lu family may not like you, so she kept a hand. Qincheng Diwu Group, that's what the old lady left for you as the future uncle of the Lu family. It's been 3 years, and I'm tired too. Since you're back, I'll let you go. I've already informed the group secretary, Chen Jiehui, to come and check it when you have time. Regardless of whether Li Xiaoyao agreed or not, Dong Shuo left with a contact number and turned around to leave. However, before he could walk much further, he left another sentence. Li Xiaoyao, the old lady said so. If you want to forcibly find the object you are looking for from the Lu family, you will definitely be disappointed, so don't do that. Looking at Dong Shuo's back, Li Xiaoyao looked bewildered and couldn't help but look towards the old lady's grave. Amazing. The extinguished fragrance suddenly ignited again. Suddenly, Li Xiaoyao remembered a question. Why did the old lady have to be buried here alone, but Dong Shuo had already walked away? Never mind, let's ask again when we have a chance. How can this be done? How can this be done? Li Xiaoyao came out of the cemetery, pondering as he walked. I originally thought that since the Lu family was unwilling to accept this marriage, it would be okay, but the old lady of the Lu family insisted that he marry Lu Qiaoruo. Isn't this difficult? Suddenly, several hundred meters ahead, a murderous aura faintly appeared. Chapter 9. Go, beat him up. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In the grass, more than 10 black shadows were eyeing the shadows ahead. Brother Dao, why did this kid go to pay homage to the old lady of the Lu family? Could he be someone from the Lu family? A dark figure spoke to Zheng Shoudao beside him. Zheng Shoudao gritted his teeth. I am still burning with anger, and this revenge must be avenged no matter what, otherwise I won't be able to swallow it. Damn it, with that virtue, how could he be a member of the Lu family? Besides, it would be even better if he were a member of the Lu family. If the old man knew about him, he might even reward us. Don't talk nonsense, go ahead. A dozen or so people quickly rushed out of the rush and surrounded Li Xiaoyao. Kid, do you know the consequences of offending your Taoist? Those who are sensible should dig a pit and bury themselves, so as not to suffer from flesh and blood. Li Xiaoyao didn't even pay attention to these few people. For him, these people were like ants in his eyes. Hee, it turned out that you were struck by lightning. Li Xiaoyao tilted his hands behind his back and said, I remember an old saying goes, there's one more time, 2 more times, no more time, 4 more times. I'll give you another chance, go away. Zheng Shoudao doesn't believe in this evil, he doesn't even believe that the incident of being struck by lightning during the day is related to Li Xiaoyao. Pretending to be forced and acting recklessly is my usual tactic, while pretending to be tiger-like is my master's trick. Using this trick in front of me, how about playing a big knife in front of Guangong? Stop talking nonsense to him, kill him. Zheng Shoudao greeted and more than 10 people showed the guy in their hands. Under the moonlight, the knife shone brightly. According to Zheng Shoudao's understanding, calling so many people is a bit wasteful. For the first time descending the mountain, Li Xiaoyao didn't want to kill anyone. Besides, killing these little rascals with one's own hands really shows no ability. Zheng Shoudao, stop making trouble. It's late at night. Hurry home and go to bed, isn't it fragrant? I can tell you, snakes are everywhere here, and getting bitten by them is not a good thing. This sounded like a scare, but Zheng Shoudao and others naturally couldn't listen and greeted Li Xiaoyao with a knife in their hand. However, the knife had not yet fallen, and the guy who was charging at the front let out a loud scream. Snake, Daoj, there's really a snake that's wrapped around my neck. Immediately, the others also shouted one after another. Brother Dao, there's really a snake inside my pants. Damn it, the cult is too cult, it's biting my butt. Li Xiaoyao couldn't close his mouth with a smile. Over the years in the mountains, driving snakes has been a piece of cake. Every time my mouth starts to crave, I make a few and bake them for a delicious taste. For people like Zheng Shoudao, they may not be afraid of people at night, but they are absolutely afraid of snakes. Besides, what Li Xiaoyao brought was all poisonous. Taking a bite immediately triggered a reaction in his body. More than 10 people, none of them were spared. Moreover, they were bitten by snakes, throwing knives one by one, turning around and running away, wanting to go to the hospital quickly. Ladies and gentlemen, I advise you not to run. Fools, the more you run, the faster the snake venom runs. I'm afraid you haven't run to the hospital yet, so I'll tell you. This reminder stopped when more than 10 people shouted. Brother, please help me suck out the poison first. Damn it, you want me to suck on you, I'm not good at this one bite. I bit my butt, what should I do? Li Xiaoyao leisurely looked at the ugliness of these guys and then said something infuriating. Are you going to kill me or not? If you don't take action, I'll go back. Remember, smoking is smoking, don't get addicted, old man. Pay attention to your appearance. According to the address given by Lin Mengsheng, Li Xiaoyao rushed straight over. Poor people cannot afford to live in high-rise buildings, while the Lin family and grandchildren live in a dilapidated small house. From afar, Li Xiaoyao saw a sedan parked at the entrance of Lin's house. Lin Mengsheng, are you sending a beggar? For 1,000 yuan, the interest is not enough. Believe it or not, I'll set fire to your dilapidated house. Fourth master, could you please extend a few more days? A school of fish is passing by the Qin River these days, and I assure you that I will definitely be able to return it within 10 days. In the yard, several burly men surrounded Lin Mengsheng. Poor Lin Qing, frightened, hid behind his grandfather, with frightened eyes, pitifully grabbing Lin Mengsheng's clothes. A young man with a cut in his head and a cane in his hand stood in front of Lin Mengsheng, looking at Lin Qing with both eyes and laughing, his voice sounding somewhat malicious and evil. Hee, Lin Mengsheng, I've told you before that today is the final deadline. Since it's here, there's no mention of a grace period. Xiao Pingtu chuckled nauseously and said, however, there is still a solution to the problem. To be honest, your granddaughter is pure and lovely. Anyway, she will be a dead person sooner or later, so why not take her out of debt? Upon hearing this, Lin Mengsheng was so frightened that he quickly protected his pale granddaughter. Fourth master, please don't do this, please. Qing'er is still young and immature. Hee, I know, I'm underage. But Lin Mengsheng, you're so poor that the little girl will die sooner or later in your hands. If I take her away, I'm not sure she can be cured. When I raise her to the age of 18, I'll keep her as a daughter. In law, and she can also be considered to have a good home. Lin Mengsheng doesn't believe it. These ignorant and inexperienced guys don't have that kind heart. Take Qing'er away, it may be ruined. Xiao Pingtu didn't care whether Lin Mengsheng agreed or not. He waved his hand and the two burly men rushed over to take Lin Qing away. At this moment, Li Xiaoyao arrived. "Big brother save me, big brother save me." Seeing Li Xiaoyao, Lin Qing seemed to grab a life-saving straw and rushed over directly. Li Xiaoyao touched the little girl's head, and being trusted was so satisfying. "Qing'er, it's okay, it's okay. With my big brother around, whoever dares to provoke you, you can hammer him for me." Is this statement mysterious enough? Lin Qing is just a 14-year-old girl. You can make him hammer a strong and sturdy man. Speaking these words, anyone would feel like laughing their teeth out. The little flathead, known as the Fourth Lord, naturally didn't believe it anymore. He smiled coldly and glanced at Li Xiaoyao. Where did such a pile of shit come out? Even bragging is not afraid of your tongue flying out. Li Xiaoyao doesn't argue with the other party. If he can solve things with his strength, he will definitely not use his mouth. "Qing'er, do you want to beat him up?" Li Xiaoyao looked at Lin Qing with a smile. I don't know where the courage came from, but the little girl blinked at Li Xiaoyao and nodded. "Big brother, I want to beat him up and bully my grandfather. She's a bad guy, and bad guys should be beaten." Li Xiaoyao didn't expect this little girl to have such courage, so he patted her little head and said with a smile, "Then go ahead and hit whoever you want. Big brother will support you." Lin Mengsheng was already scared out of his wits. He had previously thought that Li Xiaoyao had a problem with his brain, and that his courage was really problematic. Let a child hit someone. I'm afraid he'll be kicked away by the fourth master before he gets close. He can't let his granddaughter play around with this kid. "Qing'er, listen to grandpa's words and don't act around. Your big brother is joking with you, don't make fourth master angry." Li Xiaoyao spoke to Lin Mengsheng, "Grandpa, this is none other than you. As the old saying goes, when teaching children, we should teach the right way. We cannot bully others, but we must not let them bully us. If you are beaten by someone else's child, you must let the child fight back, so that when you grow up, you won't be bullied." After finishing speaking, he nodded at Lin Qing. "Go, beat him up. It's not enough if his nose doesn't bleed." Chapter 10. Grandmother. You are listening at novelfull.audio. If you can make your esteemed friend like it a bit, add a bookshelf. The origin of this fourth master is not simple. His name is Long Si. It is said that he ranks fourth in his family, so his parents gave him the name Long Si after he was born. In the eastern part of Qin City, the name of Long Si is well known, and everyone calls him the Fourth Lord. However, in those days, Long Si's family was poor and destitute, with 5 children, and only Long Si survived in the end. In theory, even if Long Si, who comes from a poor background, is developed, he should empathize with the poor and better understand their difficulties. But he's lucky. When he gets rich, he opens a casino, opens a red building, and takes out high-interest loans. Regardless of whether you are poor or rich, you can earn a lot of money. It can be said that from being developed to now, not many people dare to provoke him, let alone take action against him. It's just that the few burly men around him are not meant to embellish their appearance. When they saw that Li Xiaoyao was going to make a little girl fight Dragon 4, they all stood up and pretended to be coerced. Where did that little bastard come from? Dare to tease fourth master. This guy was yelling at Li Xiaoyao with his fingers, but to his surprise, Li Xiaoyao didn't look at him either. He smiled and said to Lin Qing, "Qing'er, this little brat wants to block you from beating someone, and he's pointing at me. Go, tear off his finger for me." The little girl didn't know where her confidence in Li Xiaoyao came from. "Okay, big brother, I'll do whatever you ask me to do." After speaking, he lifted his small foot and ran straight towards the burly man. The little girl thinks quite well. If her strength cannot be broken, as long as she gets closer, she will bite off with just one bite. She is afraid when her older brother is not here. Big brother is here, what are you afraid of? No big deal, big brother, let Lei strike these bastards. The burly man didn't expect that Lin Qinglai really had no intention of pitying children, so he kicked Lin Qing with his foot up. According to his idea, a teenage girl could fly more than 10 meters without flying to the south gate with just one foot. Seeing that this kick was about to kick Lin Qing's chest, Li Xiaoyao lightly flicked his finger. Lin Qing, who was feeling a bit at a loss, suddenly felt a surge of strength all over her body. Qing'er, you have great abilities. Believe in yourself and fight as you please. Behind him, Li Xiaoyao reminded Lin Qing that this little girl must have never fought before and should be encouraged, otherwise she would definitely not dare to take action. Okay, big brother. The little girl agreed and slapped the back of the sturdy man's foot. That action is soft and smooth at first glance, and a discerning person will definitely want to laugh at it. Even if the little girl has 2 sons, at most she can still be considered a flower fist embroidered leg. The burly man naturally thought the same way, so he didn't even want to withdraw that stinky foot. But the next second, this old boy will have some regrets. Lin Qing's little hand did indeed lightly land on the back of his feet, but suddenly he felt a piercing pain. I felt a strange force rush from the back of my foot into my body, and my entire leg was completely stiff and numb in an instant. Pop it. The big man couldn't stand steadily and fell upside down. Lin Qing's movements did not stop, and he seemed to have endless strength all over his body. Whatever he said, he had to follow his older brother's instructions and tear off the man's fingers. In the blink of an eye, he rushed up to the big man and grabbed the hand pointing at Li Xiaoyao. The big man was surprised. What happened? Isn't she just a little girl? Her wrist is like an iron pliers, unable to break free even a minute. I've seen a ghost. The big man saw Lin Qing extend his other small hand and grab it towards his finger. In a hurry, he swung his other hand and wanted to knock Lin Qing unconscious with a punch. But this is just an idea. His hand seemed to be bound by something and couldn't move at all. There was a piercing sound in my ear, followed by a scream. Big brother, my strength is too strong. You asked me to break it, but I accidentally pulled it off. Lin Qing didn't expect to have such a big deal, so she happily held the bloody fingers of the big man in her hand and showed them to Li Xiaoyao. This kind of scene that only dares to appear in TV dramas has already stunned Lin Mengsheng's eyes. When did my granddaughter become so powerful? She was as fierce as a tiger in her actions. Of course, it was not just Lin Mengsheng who was shocked, but also Lord Long Si. How could a little kid make his capable subordinates so embarrassed? Unexpected, it must be an accident. Hee, little girl, let me give it a try, said Long Si, twisting his neck and moving his muscles and bones. In Qin City, everyone knows that Dragon 4 is a martial artist in the heavenly realm, so no one dares to oppose him. This kind of strength against a 14-year-old girl is completely using big milk to scare children. Lin Qing, this girl, is now very powerful. Unexpectedly, she would knock over a big man with just one move. Excited, she almost danced and rushed towards Long Si. Long Si dare not lift his foot. Even if you think this little girl was mistaken, you are worried about repeating the same mistake. Is it okay for me to use my fists directly, as I suffer losses with my feet? So looking at Lin Qingchong coming over, raising his hand is a towering mountain. According to Long Si's logic, even if this punch cannot flatten Lin Qing's head, knocking him unconscious is definitely the only possibility in the future. Qing'er, block with your left hand and embrace him with your right hand. Li Xiaoyao immediately spoke out as a reminder when he saw that Long Si was a heavenly realm warrior. Lin Qing is also a plastic talent, he knows everything at once. At that moment, he swung his little arm to block Long Si's fist, and then a small powder punch hit Long Si's nose bridge. Bang! What's going on? Isn't this punch supposed to be weak and boneless? Why is it so powerful and heavy? Long Si felt a twinkling star light in front of him, and his nose bone felt a faint pain. Before she could relive it, the little girl's left little pink fist hit her again. With a clang, Long Si's large body suddenly collapsed under the heavy blow. This is not the end. Lin Qing rushed over and engaged in another round of archery. Stop fighting, stop fighting. Long Si finally let out a desperate cry, if you continue to fight, your nose will be shattered. I've taken it, can't I take it? Watching Long Si's face covered in blood, the blood in his nostrils seemed like flowing water. But the little girl became interested. She had been bullied for so long, and today she finally breathed a sigh of pride. She said she wouldn't miss this opportunity and directly stepped on Long Si's chest. No, even if we take it, it won't work. If it weren't for Big Brother coming, you've been bullying us all along, and today we're going to kill you. The little girl actually swung her little pink fist again, and Long Si was so scared that he quickly covered his nose. Auntie, please spare me. I'm really impressed. Alright, Qinger, please forgive me, Li Xiaoyao walked over and said. Lin Qing just lifted her foot and looked at Li Xiaoyao with joy. Big brother, am I handsome or not? Handsome, so handsome. We Qinger are really impressive. Unlucky Long Si got up and glanced at Li Xiaoyao, then timidly looked at Lin Qing and said, Auntie, can we go now? Get lost. Lin Qing opened his small mouth with great momentum and said something. Am I more handsome like this?